Chapter 7, A Catnip Spree. Away down back of the garage, near the edge of the road, grew some catnip. Ruff found it one day when he had wandered farther from home than usual. After rolling in it to his heart's content, he ran home and told his brother and sisters about it. They didn't wait a minute, but hurried off to the spot, which meant so much fun and joy for them. They turned somersaults in the catnip, rolled over and over in it again and again, much like bouncing rubber balls. It wasn't until Pussycat came clear down to the bed of catnip that they heard her call to lesson. Pussycat always tried to be dignified and to set a good example for her family, but the scent of catnip was too much even for her. And forgetting everything else, she too rolled over and over in it. This was fun for the kitties, and Tuff scrambled all over Pussycat, jumping at her whiskers, nipping her ears, and making the bells on her collar ring until they played little jingly tunes. Pussycat and her kittens acted as if they had all gone wild. Ruff, feeling lonely, strolled back to the catnip bed. Although he had had a fine time in it, he could not sit still and watch Pussycat and the other kittens frolicking so gaily. So in he jumped, adding one more crazy kitten to the bunch. In their frolic, each one seemed to be trying to outdo the others, and by they forgot to be careful. Every now and then a loud, shrill cry told that a sharp claw had scratched somebody. Finally, the frolic seemed to have turned into a fight, and Mother Pussycat knew it was time to stop it. This wasn't easy to do. You see, the kittens had forgotten it was merrymaking, and now were really angry with one another. But Pussycat never allowed her children to rule, and so she brought them to attention with 3 piercing meows, which meant, "Come right out of that catnip bed and learn the lesson I am going to give you. First, I must say, you have made me sad and ashamed of you. Ever since your little eyes first opened, I have tried to teach you to be gentle. And yet, the way you've been behaving, one would never imagine you had heard the word. You have been acting like little wild cats. Now each must beg the other's pardon. To be gentle should be the aim of everybody, because by being gentle we escape many unhappy things. Now, Tuff, you and Buff go on ahead. Fluff and Ruff follow. I shall watch you all the way home, and if I see anything but gentleness, I shall punish the offender. Had you been content to play and be gentle, we might still be enjoying the catnip bed. You were not, and so we're going home. I'm sorry to know my family could so forget what they had been taught." Tuff, the little black and white rascal, stopped, turned around, and said slyly, "Mother Pussycat, if we are good and kind for a long time, may we go back to the catnip bed? Until I'm sure you mean to be gentle with one another, I shall send you down there one at a time." "Meow, meow," said Fluff sadly. "Going alone won't be any fun." Then Buff meowed softly. "Maybe if we're good kittens, Mother Pussycat will change your mind and let us all go back together." A Little Girl's Lesson, Chapter 8. Strolling through the garage, Pussycat overheard the master of the house talking earnestly with his little daughter Helen. Pussycat knew it was bad manners to listen, but she had great respect for the master because he was so good and kind to her and everybody else. Perhaps I can learn something to teach the kittens, she thought, so maybe I could be excused for listening this time. Then Pussycat lay down, shut her eyes, and listened to what the master had to say. With his arm about his little daughter, he told her kindly but firmly he was sorry to learn that she didn't love her governess. Helen began to make excuses, but her father said he had chosen the governess carefully and was sure if his little daughter tried to find something in her to love, all the things she didn't like would be forgotten. He closed his little talk by saying, "Love never fails to bring love." Helen and her father left the garage, and Pussycat, rubbing her head with her right paw, thought, "I hope I can make that as plain to the kittens as Master did to Helen. I'm sure he's right. I remember Aunt Edna didn't like me when I first came here to live," she said. "When I first came here to live, she said, 'That cat can never come into my room.' But by and by, she came to like me ever so much. I followed her around or sat quietly beside her with my back hunched up and purred softly. At first, she paid no attention to me, but my fondness for her finally won her. And I almost laughed aloud one day when she picked me up and said, 'My, but you're a pretty little thing, and you must like me, you stick around so.'" As Pussycat left the garage, she saw Fluff and dainty little Maltese trying to play with the weeds the gardener had just pulled from the pansy bed. Evidently, the gardener didn't wish them scattered about, for he gave Fluff a slap with his cap and said, "Get away." Fluff showed a little temper and tried to scratch his hand. This made the gardener angry, and he shoved her out of his way. Remembering this at class time, Pussycat said, "Children, you are never too young to learn the wise things that you are never too young to learn the wise things that may be of use to you all your lives. Now, love is the greatest and best thing any of us has to give others. And no matter how things look to us, love is the greatest and best thing any of us has to give others. And no matter how things look to us, love never fails to bring love. Now, Fluff, when the gardener told you this morning to run away, instead of scratching him, you should have run a little distance away from him and played around, not touching what he told you to leave alone. When the wind blew a weed back on the place he had cleared, if you had taken it in your little mouth and carried it over to the pile of rubbish and dropped it there, he would have thought you a useful, well-behaved little kitten. Then he might have put you in the little cart with his baby boy, who really wanted a chance to pet you." "That's right," said Little Black Ruff, "because the other day, when the little bit of a white woolly dog came here visiting, I just laughed when he barked his funny little bark at me. Then I rolled my marble over to him. He only waited a moment before rolling it back, and we played together happily for a long time. I told him I love little white woolly dogs, and he said somebody told him dogs don't like kittens. But now he knew it wasn't true." Pussycat nodded her approval and said, "Always remember, children, to show love toward everybody, no matter what people may say or do. For love makes all things right."